got one friend, she's bisexual, but for the last 5 years, she's really only been dating girls. Now she's finally with a guy again, and she's excited because it's going well, but she's nervous because she thinks it's about to get intimate, and it's been so long since she's been physically intimate with a man. I was talking to her earlier tonight, trying to reassure her. I said, you'll be fine. You know, you had boyfriends back in college, right? She said, yeah. So we'll get back in there. I'm sure it's just like riding a dike. She's actually opening up her own restaurant in a few months. I hope you guys will check it out. It's a little north of the city. It's kind of like a sandwich shop catering to members of her community. It's going to be called LGBLTs. I think she'll have success with that. I really do, because I've always heard that lesbians love to eat out. I guess there's nothing wrong with a sexually themed restaurant these days. We already have all these sexual commercials for ED, Viagra, Cialis, telling everybody about 4-hour erections. That's a weird side effect. Another weird side effect they say is delayed backache. I wonder if you really get the delayed backache from the medicine or from your horned up wife riding it all night because she's finally getting something again. But you know, there's only going to be more of these commercials. There's only going to be more of these commercials because the FDA just approved the Generica Viagra. Have you guys heard about the Generica Viagra? Mycoxaflabin? I love it when a middle-aged dude laughs at that joke. I love that. He's laughing pretty hard. He gave me a standing ovation, but I heard his lady saying before the show he's got a backache tonight. Sorry. But I love this town. I love doing some comedy in this town. I would do comedy every night in this town. Well, not Thursday nights. Thursday night's still the one night I get with my girls. And by that I mean it's still the one night I go out to the bars near Georgia Tech and hit on the younger girls. Raging Kegger out by the lake this weekend. That sounds fantastic. But let's live for the moment. Make that a double. But, you know, I see crazy characters around this town. I saw this dude, and I just can't get him out of my mind. He is like one of those true biker dudes. Had like the black hat, black shirt, black jeans, but it was like a t-shirt, and on the back of it, it said, maybe you guys have seen this, it said, if you can read this, my bitch fell off. Have you seen that shirt? It made me smile, it did, especially because when I saw him, we were both riding the bus. My guess is that bitch fell off a long time ago. I don't have a lot of friends that really party. I have one friend, Jeff. He still parties like he was in his 20s. He was a little crazy every weekend that I've ever known him, basically. And if you haven't hung out with him on the weekend, you see him on Monday, he's always got a story. So I saw him on Monday, and I said, hey, Jeff, how was your weekend? He said, oh, man, it was great. I got this close to getting head last night. I said, really, Jeff? He said, yeah. I'm so glad some of you guys laughed at that. As a performer, there's nothing worse than to be up on stage, bright lights on you, head between your legs, and no one's laughing. That's probably how a stripper feels, right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult the strippers in the crowd. I didn't. In fact, if you're a stripper in the crowd, just see me after the show. I'd like to personally apologize. Yeah, but my friends, most of my friends are not crazy. They're not wild people. They're into the video games and the Star Wars. But I just want to say before I go, you know, I don't think loving Star Wars makes you like a geek anymore. Too many people love Star Wars. It's reached that saturation point. I think a bunch of American guys love Star Wars. Guys, you love your Star Wars? Yeah. Not as many girls love Star Wars. I think it's because, you know, there's not a lot of girl Jedi in those movies. But if you've seen the new movies, there might be some girl Jedi. And ladies, I just want to say, I think that you would love to be Jedi. You think it'd be great to be a Jedi. Do those Jedi mind tricks. See some skeezy guys hitting on you at the bar. You can just turn to him and be like, this is not the pussy you're looking for. Move along. I think I need to move along. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. First of all, before we really get started, I just want to say your bar staff back there has been rocking it all night. Please give them a hand. My name is Matt Morris. I'm a Tennessee native, born and raised in the South. There's a lot of things I like about the South. I know I don't have the Southern accent, but I like pro wrestling. I dig pro wrestling. One of my favorite places to watch pro wrestling is the Hooters restaurant. Go out, they get the big pay-per-views on their TVs, hang out with your friends, have a good time. But the Hooters waitresses, they don't all dig the pro wrestling. One of them said to me, Matt, I'll never understand how you guys can watch this crap. It's obviously fake. I said, you might have a point, but if I were you, I'd be quiet about it. Because if guys weren't interested in watching things that were obviously fake, you'd probably have a job. I like real sports too. I like baseball, basketball, football. These are the sports that our country loves. I think that's because there's always a definite winner. It's not like soccer where games end in 0-0 ties. We don't like that here. We find ties distasteful, un-American. Some people say a tie is like kissing your sister, but I don't even think it's that good. The one sport I was really great at growing up was ping pong. My brother and I got here when we were very young, played all throughout our youth. By the time I was in high school, I was better than all my friends. I beat a Chinese guy once, not in ping pong, just physically. It's actually kind of an unrelated story. I don't know why I bring it up in that part of the night. But it's nice to be down here. This room has a great reputation because of audiences like you guys. I'm from Tennessee. It's not always as great. We got some good things going on. I was doing a show in Knoxville the other night. It was not a fun night. It wasn't a good crowd. And I know I'm not supposed to blame the crowd. Entertainers are not supposed to blame their crowds. There's an old entertainment saying, it's a poor craftsman that blames his tools. But man, what a bunch of tools. They were. Chattanooga's doing better right now, though, thankfully. I do need to get down and hang out and do the comedy sometimes. Personal life is not going as well as I'd like for it to. Last week I had to break up with the girlfriend. Thank you. Thank you very much for the mock sympathy. For a weird reason, too. She was just always on her BlackBerry, just addicted to her BlackBerry. Every time I went over to her apartment, I'd find her on her BlackBerry. But in her defense, that Barry is a pretty good-looking guy. She was a real romantic, a true romantic. She loved flowers, loved freshly cut roses. But looking back, I think she liked anything that she could watch die slowly. No, I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to get too dark right here at the end of the show. I'll give her a compliment. This girl was a fox in the sense that she had a distinct overbite. No, that's going too far. I want to give her a compliment. This girl was blessed with the legs of a thoroughbred and cursed with the face of a thoroughbred. I don't know. I think that all the romantic things were better when we were younger. Not just me, but everybody. I'll never forget those first times. First date, first kiss. I will never forget the first time a girl asked me to take off her bra. Of course, I was wearing it at the time, but it still counts. I mean, it still counts, right? That counts. Ladies, that counts, right? No, no, maybe not. Or the first time playing Spin the Bottle. That was my friend Ronnie's 14th birthday party. After all the festivities upstairs with the adults, they stayed up there. Us kids snuck down to the basement, played a little Spin the Bottle. That was a very educational afternoon, very educational. It was even better the next year when Ronnie got some girls to come to the party. That's the one joke where people laugh really hard and it makes me worry. Like, oh, that makes sense about him. My dad didn't give me a lot of advice when I first started dating. He did give me one thing. He said, Matt, as you go out there and you start this thing, maybe it's better to start by dating some homeless girls. I said, Dad, that's crazy. Homeless girls? Why? He said, well, when you're dating a homeless girl and the date's over, you can just drop her off anywhere. That sounds like pretty skeezy advice, and it was. But it saved me a ton on gas in college. But my dad wasn't a bad example usually. He never did any hard drugs. He was known to crack up the Jim Beam, get a little far gone on a Friday night after a hard week at work. I'd tell him, Dad, it's hard for me to respect you when you act like this. But even in his inebriated state, he'd be quick to remind me that it was because of him that I had food over my head and a roof in my mouth.